Hello.
Hello, here we are again.
All right.
Not quite as much as last week, but
No.
Still 2 days in a row.
There we go.
Okay.
I told you I wasn't prepared.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
So it's
So it is the last Fit Bee Stitch Out.
Mm-hmm.
Next year we will be doing the digital dealer exclusives stitch outs. We will figure out timing. We haven't gotten that part figured out yet. A few more of you have signed up since we talked yesterday, so thank you for that. We'll get everything all situated and get all of the details of that sent out come January.
Yes.
Which is only a couple of days.
So you probably won't receive everything on January 1st for January.
Yeah, because we won't be here.
But starting in February, once we have
first.
everything in there,
Yep.
You will receive those closer to the 1st. It's just this first month. We
Happens
have
to be a little different.
Yeah, we have to enter all of your information in to the Kimberbell website and get all of that stuff taken care of. So it's a little bit of typey stuffing.
Different.
Yes, and we've been so crazy today.
Holy crow, have we been crazy today?
Yes. Lisa, did you get like 3 bites?
I inhaled a few things.
Yeah.
But I'm all right.
Yeah, it was just nuts.
It was awful late lunch, so I didn't want to eat very much anyways at that point, because then, what's the point of dinner?
True that.
But it did feel really good to sit down. I was like, oh, my hips were hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like screaming at me. So I'm all good now, though. Had a little breaky. Nothing broke, just took a break. So we're going to have a little bit of fun and stitch.
Yes.
And Sarah did all the prep work because I was busy doing other things.
She was.
So we have this adorable pie carrier or whatever casserole carrier. If it's a 9x9, it would work for that. Whatever you want to use it for.
These bags are never as big as I think they are in my mind. In my mind, it's a tote bag, right? It should be gargantuan. And then I take them out of the package. I'm like, this isn't as big as I remember them being. And I say that every time. But it is perfect for this size.
It is absolutely perfect for this.
And this is a really simple project.
It is, actually. It's pretty straightforward. So you have very little prep work.
Yes.
The first thing.
Less prep work because we might have messed up your kids.
Not included everything you needed. So the first thing that you'll need to do is come back to the store. This little piece, which is this guy here, and this is going to be the banner fabric. So that's going to go across the circle that we're doing, and it's going to say seasoned with love. Somehow that piece got omitted from the kit.
Yes.
Not really sure what happened there, so we apologize. We've got a stack of them here, so if you want to grab something from your stash, great. If you want to come in here and grab a piece, that's fine too. We have them for you. And then, of course, anybody that is still coming in to get theirs, it'll be there for anything from now on. That's the only problem with doing this the last day of the month is that
if we miss anything,
we didn't see that until now.
No.
So, but the prep is not only finding a piece of fabric, but putting fusible on the back. So do a fusible backing on there so that you get a nice bold piece. And so that works really nicely there. So you're going to fuse that to the wrong side of your banner fabric.
And we did a solid, so it's kind of hard to find the wrong side or the right side. So
yeah, that silky solid, you can pretty much do whichever one you want. It doesn't really matter, which is what you're going to get if you do come back up here.
Yes.
So, problem?
My shirt is like, yes. The
yes
collar
is the answer.
Yes is the answer.
Something's not sitting right.
Yeah, the collar was really like sticking up. He does. So we're gonna get started. We've got the design and the crosshair loaded. And one or the other.
One or the other.
Yes.
So the first thing that we're going to do is, of course, load our crosshair. So we are going to be using a sticky stabilizer. In the instructions, it is recommending a wash away sticky back, which would be the nicest. If what you have is tear away, it would work for this. You could get away with that without any real
Yeah, it's on the
issues with
inside.
that. It's going to be on the inside, so not a huge deal there. But we do have wash away, so we are all set. And of course, then you're going to score and remove that top bit from inside the hoop.
And then you'll be sticky.
And then you'll be sticky. Literally, your fingers will probably have a little bit of sticky on them because that's really sticky stuff.
It is really
That
sticky
is the
stuff.
stickiest stabilizer I've ever worked with.
Yeah, the sticky is still on there's still a little sticky on the
Paper
when
itself.
you take it off.
It's just got quite a thing.
Yes.
So the first thing that we're going to do afterwards is the placement line for the backing. So I would probably go with the light. Yep. That helps. The little things in life.
I know we've had this machine up and down and up and
We've
down so many
moved
times.
this so many times. So
This morning, the tag was stuck.
she talked to you today.
Hi, Patty. She signed up for my punny.
My bunny. So I'll talk to you too in about another week. So yeah, we'll thread. We are threading with our white, which we have a natural white. It's not bright white that we're using for our white thread here today. And we're going to stitch the crosshair in that because that's going to be the first fabric piece that we need. So it's just one less threading that we'll be doing later. So first things first, we're going to.
Yep, I'm gonna hit the start button, and
hit
then
camera.
I'm gonna put the camera over so that you can show them how
Show them
we
how to do this
folded.
part?
Yep.
Okay.
So big camera here because nobody needs to see this stitch out the crosshair. It's not super exciting. So
Did you actually press?
I did.
Okay.
3 and 3/4 down.
I did read.
Yep.
Actually, I actually did my homework.
I wasn't sure how much
In between things today, I did read a little bit there. So we've got a crosshair stitching. You are going to put this long ways, so literally long, all right, hot dog style, and you're going to put pretty sides together and match up your points there and have your handles out of the way, and then you are going to fold down, and we are looking for a 3 3/4 fold on this one. So 3 inches and 3/4. And then you can go ahead and press that so you have a nice fold there. These are not, oh my God, I thought that was like my phone.
What?
That it like had an echoey sound in my ear, and I was like, oh my God, it's like, don't mind me.
Yeah.
You just never know what my ears are gonna hear. So,
too funny.
You can sort of see, not very well, the white crosshair in there, and we are going to align based on that. So we are going to try to put this little guy in here, and we want the handles basically going towards the throat of the machine. So here is our attachment of our hoop, and then we want the handles going to be going here. So we want it to end up opening.
And this is a very directional design. So
absolutely matters.
You definitely want to make sure when you get your bag in your hoop that
the top of the design is going towards the top of the bag.
Yes.
So wherever those handles are, that's the top of where the design should be. You
Yes.
definitely want to make sure that it's matching up with that.
For sure.
So I know you can't see the line here real easily. In the instructions, it actually only has you drawing a line there. So you certainly could do it that way if you wanted. You can kind of see the pressed line.
I think they can see the press line pretty well.
And basically you would line up your pressed line with the north-south piece and then smooth that out and then come down and open that and make sure that you stay nice and straight there. Sorry, I'm going around camera legs. I'm trying not to knock it off the table. I did that once. It was not fun. I totally freaked out.
Yes,
and of course, it went over the other side of the table, so I couldn't even get to it. I was like, help! I need a little help over here. So I'm just checking and making sure that that line is still there. So we should be good. And then I want to smooth that down so I'm nice and stuck as good. And again, handles are going over here. My attachment is right here. So make sure that everything is going the right direction. Once we have that, we are going to come back to the machine, and you can have just a standard embroidery bobbin in. You don't need to do anything special. with that. And slide that in. Sorry, I couldn't see. Had to look up under their skirts there. All right, and what we're going to start off with is the placement line for the basically backing fabric of this whole design. So first thing first is it's going to do a placement line there.
This is for the it's the felt.
It is the large piece of felt that is in your kit.
It is.
And then you also have 3 pieces of leather. You've got white, black, and silver. Those are the other items that we've got here. So we're just going to salt, pepper, and then the tops of those. So covering that space up there, we're going to just take and this is the antique ivory felt from Kimberbell. Oh. We're not going to tack it down, I guess. We're just going to place it over there, and I bet you they want me to tape that in place. Yep, look at that. Tape in place.
We're both like, that's not what we thought was going to happen.
I thought that was going to at least tack that circle
place.
down, but
yeah,
it didn't.
It didn't.
But I bet you could go back and tack that down if you were really worrying about it.
I think the reason is because
the actual tack down is the green stitch.
You don't actually trim in a circle. You trim the whole thing like out underneath and around the rest of the design.
We haven't done this yet. See how this works. Can't tell from that.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but the banner and everything is going to go over top of it. So
I see.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, you don't do that.
So this
isn't
going to be
trimmed here. I just am surprised it's not tacked down.
Right. So tape if you would like to tape, or you can just leave it to chance if you want. The first thing that it's going to do is this salt or pepper?
This is salt.
Salt. So we still have white.
We left our
What do we? The tape, yes, it is at the counter, which is a really good place for it.
I totally thought so. I saw that earlier today.
We probably should.
We need a placement line. So we're going to do a placement line. Hi, Mom.
We're ahead and behind.
We're all over the place. And this is going to show us where to put our fabric for our salt shaker, which is the white leather. So we're just going to completely cover that up. And you can, of course, tape that if you would like to. I'm sure you're all super duper surprised that we are not doing so.
We're going to let it ride.
We're going to let it go. So we've got a nice triple stitch that's going to tack that all down nice and smoothly. And then I am going to trim off that excess. And then we're going to do the pepper shaker jar part. So I do need to remove this. I didn't mention it earlier. You make sure that your handle is not underneath your bag because that would stink. So far it'd be pretty easy to get out, but we didn't completely ruin that, wait till the whole end. Oh, by the way, make sure that's not sewn in. All right, so I've got a whole bunch of white going on here, so I'm just going to trim around, and there is no stitch that's going to go around this. So what you see is what you get. So whatever you're trimming is going to show. There is nothing that's going to cover that up. So keep your stitches, I'm getting caught in the felt. Your scissor, what do you call this? Slice, your scissors, some things, whatever these are, nice and smooth. You don't want them choppy because that will definitely show big picture.
Cut smoothly.
Cut smoothly. There you go. Thank you. Hi there. Good.
You can come and say hi.
Oh no.
Oh, you don't want to stitch through that bag?
Not going to stitch through that. And we are now going to do the. Yep, that one. We're now going to do that pepper placement, which we can leave in the white for the moment. Either way, white or black here, doesn't matter. But the next one needs to be black unless you really want your pepper to
have white in it.
Have white.
Maybe you do.
Maybe you do.
No judgment here.
No? Mm-mm.
Maybe you want it to be variegated rainbow.
Well, give it a nice outline stitch. All right, so white comes out, black goes in. And then we're going to completely cover up that placement line. And we're going to go ahead and tack that down.
Can you help me find anything? We're gonna get a little bit of everything. Oh, okay. We're here to stop.
All right, so again, I need to trim off that excess. The next piece that we're going to be sewing is the tops for these.
Probably throw that back.
I'm thinking the same thing. One of these days, it's not gonna.
It's gonna end up
I'm
underneath.
not gonna
this
notice
design.
it. It's gonna get right underneath there.
So I'm gonna thread for the silver on top of our salt and pepper shakers while Lisa is
Trimming that excess away.
right. She is the trimming queen.
You have a crown, wear it.
That's right. Proudly.
It feels so
I
different.
need to make you a crown that says trimming queen now.
I know how to do that.
You know how to make, and then you could make a matching sash.
I have made a sash quite recently. God, that was funny.
They can't see you on camera. Not that it. There you go.
Yeah, my bottom didn't go like I wanted it to. That felt really pushed
It gets in the way.
a little bit. So be careful. There we go. All right, salt and pepper. Salt and pepper.
Right?
Dun, 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 dun. No?
Yes. Push it.
Real good. Here we go. Push it. Button. Nope.
Yeah.
They have no idea what we're talking
It's
about.
better that way.
It is totally better that way. They just think we're crazy, which
Right?
is probably fairly accurate.
Yes. All I can think about is that lawnmower commercial. That
Isn't that funny?
it is hysterical. And then of course we saw them in concert. The last time we went to our New Kids on the Block concert, they were,
like 80s whatever.
Uh-huh. yeah, that was pretty funny.
There's just a little tail thread I have to get rid of. Karen won't even be able to find that with the vacuum. We're going to completely cover that up. We have a very oversized piece of leather here. Sorry. I don't know what I inhaled there, but all of a sudden it was like,
Was that little piece of thread?
Uh-huh, maybe that's what it was.
That's right. She won't be able to find it. Told you didn't get enough for lunch. Snagging on the thread.
Snagging on thread. You just got to be concerned about these things. So you kind of get like little dots in there, like the shakers would actually have. Though, I got to say that's way too many dots for a pepper shaker. You should only have one, maybe two. You'd have a whole lot of pepper on whatever you were eating.
And or salt.
And salt, true. But you generally have a lot on the salt. You only usually have one or two on a pepper shaker. That's a lot of holes. That'd be a lot of pepper.
We're gonna have
Some
to write
spicy
Kimberbell. They're really slipping lately.
Spicy stuff, man. All right, I'm going to trim off that excess, and the next stitch is going to be the leafy stuff around the outside. So I'm betting my partner in crime over there is going to rethread with green while I'm trimming.
Could happen.
Could happen.
No, salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper.
Because we got salt and pepper. They're salt and pepper shakers.
Salt and pepper shakers we just made.
Yes,
Both wearing white and black.
we are.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes.
That I didn't catch. We actually are kind of color coordinated for that.
We are. It's like we planned it.
As long as you don't start rapping.
We already
We
did
already
that.
did that.
We
We
already
missed
started
it.
singing "Push It."
And then we talked about the lawnmower commercial. Tony, you're missing out. You should totally come join us.
Yeah, I'm a little busy. I'm working.
He said he really missed you guys, though.
Yes.
He's really down.
That's
Are you
the
trying
only-
to say that somebody has to work?
I'm saying I'm live streaming it and back.
He's saying that I actually have a good excuse for not coming to join you right now.
Right?
Yeah, I'm making a mess in
Miss Shirley, I used Exquisite ES 589 for the gray, and the green color is Exquisite ES 451.
We're making a pie carrier
Aha!
or whatever you want it to be carrier.
My tote, the handle got stuck the other day. So
We were just having that conversation. Make sure that that's
be
not.
very careful and stay in the room.
It's hard to be a tote without a handle.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Yep, look it up.
All right, those are kind of cute. Where's the S and the P?
Right?
Not on our shirts. Sorry.
I'm going to be singing that darn salt and pepper song for the rest of the day now.
Better than another one.
It is. There are so many.
There are other options that are not necessarily as
Entertaining as that?
oh
You
well.
haven't heard me rap. Oh, look, the
Oh.
needle's not threaded.
Stop. Let's do that. I think we have enough stitches. We're still good. All right. So this is color stop number 9, which is a little off. If you're following in the instructions, we would be on number 8, and that's because our crosshair was number 1. So it's a good color. It pops off of that nicely. I sure hope I balanced that out well. So in hindsight, make sure you have an equal amount around your circle. I wasn't paying super duper amount of attention to that, but that would make a difference here because it's not just the circle that's stitching. So leave it a little bit of room there. I think we're good.
I think so too.
And this is a couple minutes.
It is. Baby.
That would be the other one that popped in my head. I was like, let's not talk about that one. Yeah, so there's some other ones we can. My sister's last name is Wiki, and every time I see Wiki. So mean. I'm so mean.
Now I feel like I need to go roller skating.
I feel like you'd go beat some people. So this is actually super cute.
It is very cute.
I wasn't really sure. I'm not gonna lie. I liked the idea of the pie carrier thing, but I wasn't sure that that was the best choice of design for what I would want to put there. But I really like it. The leaves really add a lot.
It still feels like it's very high up at the top, which I'm sure once it's done,
If
the
it
bag
has
itself,
stuff in it, right, you're gonna take it and
right, it's not
where
very
it's gonna
big,
be folded.
but it does.
The top portion is not going to be as large as the tote would be. It's half the size of a tote.
Yep. So if you're wondering the same thing, it's because.
But
it's
you're
gonna
right.
be a lot
It
smaller.
does
feels
seem
way
up there.
Yes.
And I feel like we're higher than they are. But maybe not. Maybe not. I guess it depends on where the
Yeah.
print cuts off.
That's off. Yeah.
Leaves have become a thing though. They've done this in a couple different stuff now. That's must be a
Yeah. Maybe they've got new. Maybe it feels
new
like
designer,
new designer, like the different brands. They go through phases, right?
right? For Facebook. So in the squares on the left, there's apply discount. So she's gonna go help Tony while this is stitching. So evidently we don't want to hear Sarah rap. Hi, Cindy. We both had a nice Christmas. Sarah's was a little quieter than mine, but we both enjoyed our long weekend. Hopefully yours were all wonderful as well. I'm since we didn't tape this, I am just making sure it stays nice and flat. You can see we've got a little bit more felt over there than we did over on the other side, which is where I was saying
You weren't perfect.
when you place it. Well, I wonder if it said that and I just ignored it.
Oh look, we're gonna trim after this.
Completely cover placement line. Nope, it didn't say anything about make sure there's area around that or anything. Make sure there's enough room around your circle that you have room for the leaves. So make sure that you try to center that white, antique white, not off-white. Sounds so much better when you say antique.
Hi, Cindy.
Yes, returning to work was fun, wasn't it?
There was no sarcasm in there at all. We love our job.
We
but
do, but we also love
I
a
consider
long
being a
weekend.
cat mom.
She had a cat take a nap on her for 2 hours, and she was like,
I should stay home
"Yep,
with the cat.
I should totally be a
I
cat
should just
mom."
be a cat mom. Stay at home cat mom. The cat needs me.
So our youngest, 2 nights ago, went up in like the foyer, which is actually where my piano is, and it was the lights weren't on, so it was dark in there, and he just sat next to the piano, and then he would cry, like out of the blue, and we're like, "The heck's going on?" I went in there and I'm patting him. "Are you okay?" And he'd let me pet him, but he would not move. Let me pick him up, and I carried him out of there, and I put him on the bed, and I pat him. "Are you okay?" He was a little shaky.
Yeah.
Jumped right off the bed, walked right back in where and planted his butt right where it was to begin with, and sat there and started crying again. I'm like, what in the heck? Jeff had put one of his toys on top of the piano, and he wanted it.
He wanted it. Oh.
And he sat there and cried until I gave it to him. As soon as I gave it to him, he was like, "Ruff," and then took off and just had a good old time with it. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
They're smart. He knew it was there.
Darn
Just
dog.
didn't know how to get it. So
And
I'm gonna.
so I sent a message to Jeff. I'm like, "Did he see you put it there?" I'm like, "How did he know it was there?" And I mean, he must smell it, like in his saliva or whatever. That's slobber all over the ball.
Right.
He can smell. It's the only way because he couldn't see it, and he said I put it up there when he wasn't around, so he did not see me put it there. I was like, yeah, the dog and his balls. He's just like, they roll in. We don't want to go get them, so sometimes we hide them, so we don't have to fetch the ball. And this was one of those instances, and he was smarter than I was.
Oh, that's too funny.
So after this, I am going to trim felt as desired around that design. So I'm going to get fairly close to the leaves, but not like right up next to it. Give it a little bit of an edge. It's easier to leave a fairly consistent edge than it is to try to get super close everywhere. So, and you'll notice that there is a gap here, and there was a stitch line on the other side. That's going to be where the banner goes, which is what we'll do as soon as I finish all of that trimming. So you want to go ahead and put that tan in?
I am.
All right. So somebody's probably going to ask you about that thread if you want to just tell them ahead of time.
Yes, this is a Floriani color, which is PF 731, which is a really light, it's like maybe a light cream color, medium cream, coffee cream. This is coffee cream color. like caramel coffee cream color.
If I were doing this at home, I might try to go in between some of these leaves a little bit more, but I'm not going to take the time to do that here so that you guys don't have to watch.
You could certainly trim up after you're completed
Yep.
with your project too.
Sure
So
can.
if you wanted to maybe trim a little bit more bulky on your first go around, you could do that. And then once it's out of the hoop, it might be a little bit easier for you to trim around some of those spaces. It's so quiet.
It is extremely quiet.
It's rarely that quiet here. It's kind of like eerily quiet.
You gonna sing for us, Tony? You good?
Mhm.
Did you need a pie carrier?
You sure?
Samantha goes home today.
Oh,
I know.
and are they are they moving?
Nope.
No.
No,
Well, that's too bad. They would have been closer.
they would have been. But he went for the visit,
Mm-hmm.
and there were some red flags. We'll just say that.
Ah.
And,
Well, that's too.
so they decided that wasn't the right fit. So there's no stitch line over here. I'm just kind of following the circle. Just a hair over here.
And we're going to be placing the
There's gonna be
fabric.
the fabric over there. I just want to have a kind of a consistent, in case there's a bump. I don't want it to be a weird bump. No weird bumps allowed. Okay, so we're all trimmed there. So Sarah has thread with that coffee. I heard that.
Coffee creamer.
Coffee creamer colored of
Caramel coffee
thread. And we're just going to get the outline of where to place it. And this is going to be that lovely piece of fabric we
don't have.
somehow forgot to include in your kits. So again, if you would like, we do have some all ready for anyone that wants to come and grab those if we miss them in the kits. And we'll get you taken care of. You can, of course, I mean, we're talking like a 2x6. You very well may have a scrap, and that might be easier than coming up here. So we are going to completely cover that up. This is going to be a raw edge piece as well. And again, we have that fusible on there. So it's a nice solid piece of fabric, but we've got a triple stitch happening here. Didn't do too bad. I wasn't sure what it would look like, so that's why I was trying to keep it as balanced as possible in there.
Yeah, I think the words are going to go right over that too, so that'll cover it.
Cover up. All right, so need to trim that little guy. And once that's trimmed, we are going to start stitching the letters. which the first is going to be the letters actually on that banner, which are seasoned with love.
And you could stitch your letters first if you were
Before trimming.
Before trimming.
If you were concerned about it pulling.
Right. So if you were afraid that you were going to stitch too close to your lines and that your thread might pop because it is raw edge, you could stitch out the words first.
Yep.
And then trim around those.
Absolutely. Glasses are not sitting right on my face today. Fabric shifting underneath my eyes. I'm like, where am I at?
Why is it moving?
It's moving on me.
We just have, once Lisa's done with this, we have a few more letters to stitch out. So the letters on the banner, and then this kitchen is, and I think we're going to do all of our letters in black, right?
I think
the
so.
remainder of the words.
You could choose to do some in like dark gray or something like that, especially since we have the gray bags. That would be a choice if you wanted.
So I'm cheating, and I am going to
Monochromatic it.
make it monochromatic so it doesn't stop in between the next sets of letters. Hi, Miss Rebecca. She is in Oregon, Wine County. That sounds like a nice place to be. How's the weather over there? It isn't snowing right now, but at this time yesterday it was like a whiteout.
Yes, it was.
I think we were all surprised. I'm not sure. I don't like paying attention to the weather, right? It's always wrong anyways. So I feel like it's always
Welcome
a
to
surprise,
Michigan.
right? If we listen to the weather, it's going to be wrong. And then when I don't watch it, I'm surprised. So you're always surprised about the weather.
Whether you think you know what's going to happen or whether you just go for the, it'll be what it's going to be. All right, so we have all of that trimmed, and I didn't get like uber close. So if there is a little pulling. There's a little bit of extra fabric there, but
Yeah, let's just
not
hit the go
not too
button.
much because I don't like a lot.
Mhm.
So we have seasoned with love, and then this kitchen is, and Sarah hit the monochromatic button on ours, so it's not going to stop. It's going to finish this one, and then it's just going to jump right into the stitching up here.
Yes, because why
Because
not?
it's easier.
Yeah. So while that stitches,
This finger is exhausted sometimes. So, that one extra,
it's hard.
it's
our
totally,
this part of
God,
our
my
job is so hard.
so that's going to be there. And then we will talk about the very simple finishing of this.
Really, this is probably
Super,
the easiest
one of the
project.
easiest I think we've had yet.
This is a pretty it's a pretty versatile font.
It is. I would like to know what that font is. They use it in a lot of things, and I like it. We need to what the font is.
Yes, we definitely should do that.
Lord knows I probably own it.
It's possible. Between the two of us, it's very possible. You got snow, huh? Yeah. Well, it's sometimes we have a lot of snow by now, and sometimes we don't. You just never know.
So oddly enough, Samantha's going home to more snow than we had here in Arizona. Yep. Yeah, they were talking about things being canceled because they're supposed to get up to 14 inches.
Wow. I mean, really though, if you're gonna get snow, let's just have a snow day, right? Let's just have
Absolutely.
so much.
Let's do it
Right.
right.
We can all just stay
Just
home.
stay
for the
home.
day.
Absolutely. Well, they live up in the mountains, so
Yeah.
it's not like Arizona with you think about Arizona. it's a dry heat.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's actually very similar to here, where they're at, but it's still Arizona. It's just like, wait, what?
Donna said she made 3 of these for Christmas gifts, and they're very.
I think it's very cute, and like we were saying, this is not super complicated. I mean, they've kept it clean and simple, and I think it's very well done. So, got a little dot, a little love.
Gotta have some dots in your love.
Gotta have some dots in your love, man. Absolutely.
The salt and pepper jars are cute, though. Very cute.
So they make me think of Mr. Salt and Mr. Pepper from Blue's Clues. It's yep.
That's a far cry from salt and pepper.
It is very, very far from Salt and Pepper. Yes, yes it is. That's why I said they need the S and the P. in their child paprika.
Yeah.
The things that you learn when you're a parent. Ugh. There are definitely things I could do without knowing.
What's wrong?
I don't know, I'm just thinking.
What you thinking?
Sometimes it hurts.
I heard it.
Did you hear it? There's a little smoke coming out of
I
there.
heard the engine.
The engine trying to crank up and go. Yeah. The felt, you can just see the grid from the buffalo check behind it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, how could we, let's. I don't think that's gonna pull it in, do you?
No, I don't. It already started taking a couple stitches, so.
I was just thinking that you could maybe go back and repeat the circle at the beginning and do like a fusible or just something for a color block. So there's a little bit more substance behind that section.
Yeah. I think
It's not bad. It's just a little shade.
right, and I
Right
think
in there.
probably the only reason they didn't have you do that is because of the trimming part.
Right, because this isn't
Yeah.
a
So-
solid circle.
Right, pulling that off of, trimming that away in this unique shape would probably be difficult if you had a fusible on the back.
Nope,
If you
I don't
put the
mean actual
fusible-
fusing it on. I mean
No, I
like
know. That's-
going back, stitch that, cover it, tack that down, trim it, and
trim it.
then
Yeah.
go back and start all over
Right,
with just
Right.
that covering.
and if you had the darker bag, you would definitely see.
Definitely with the
More of
black
that.
lines instead of the gray, you would I think
Right.
that would bother me a lot, I think.
You could probably use 2 layers of the
felt.
too, and
You know, it's funny, I was reading the instructions for My Funny Valentine, and they have added a layer of felt for the back of those little gift pockets to give it a little bit more oomph.
yeah,
So it's funny that you say that.
your mom says they canceled the game at NAU, but
Did
not
they?
but not weather related.
Huh.
Probably COVID.
I was gonna say it's probably, unfortunately, somebody's sick.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of that.
Yeah. Which is a bummer because that's why Samantha had to go home today instead of stay through the New Year's because of the game.
Maybe her flight will get canceled. She'll have to stay. I mean that's a real possibility according to what they're saying. Tons and tons of flights being canceled.
Yep. All the last time I flew out to see her, I had a heck of a ride trying to get there. It was awful. I didn't get there until 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was supposed to get there at like 10
You were stuck
on the plane.
Yeah.
Not at the airport. On the plane, on the tarmac. They wouldn't let us off.
time David and I flew out to Florida, it was winter here, and we got stuck on the plane twice. First, because of course it started to snow, so then they were clearing the runway, and then the time ran out for the staff, for the
I ran into that as well.
and then we got stuck out on the tarmac because they were de-icing the planes, and this was like one of the first times that David had flown, and I kept thinking he's never gonna get on another plane. And of course he's like, so is it really comforting that they're de-icing the plane? And I'm like, yeah, it's totally fine.
It's totally normal. They have a total system on how that all works. Yeah, I literally, and I'm not exaggerating, I watched 2 movies in my airplane seat before we ever left Detroit. Yeah.
At least you had something to do.
Yeah, and then my flight home wasn't delayed, but the entire entertainment system was down, so we had nothing to watch on the flight home. So, it was just a great airline trip.
Yes.
All the way around. It was a terrible trip. But I would have changed dates or something, because that put them, they had to pick me up at the airport. So,
right.
And then, the airport's 2 hours from where they live. So, we got in at 3. We got back to their place at 5.
Yeah.
And they had to be at work in the morning.
It was rough.
So, it was a rough night, but
Luckily they're young.
they are, and her boyfriend's family actually lives not far from the airport. So they went to his house and slept, waiting for me to actually get there. So they did get some sleep prior to, while I was flying, they were sleeping, which is good, because they wouldn't have normally been. So at least they got some sleep, but how terrible.
Yeah.
But it's what it is. It's nobody's fault. It just the way things went. But yeah, so we finally got de-iced, and once we came out of the de-icing lane, they were like, "Well, guys, we're really sorry, but we have to go back to the gate, because we are now we'll run over our flight hours in the air, so we can't fly you. We have to go get you a new crew." So then we went back.
And then you had to de-ice again, right?
We had to de-ice again.
Yes.
Yeah, we sure did. And it wasn't as bad of a wait as it was the first time, but it, it's not like you could get up and wander around. There's no way all of you on the plane can get up and wander around. So, we all got up and went to the bathroom, but then you just have to go back and sit in your seat. And of course they wouldn't let you out. So it wasn't like you had the option of, do you want to go book a different flight?
Right.
You were on the plane. You weren't getting out.
No.
So, it was not my best experience. Don't want that one repeated ever again, but no one to blame. And I wasn't like mad. It was just a frustrated, this is not going well.
Yeah. I know. And can you just think about every on the news, it's just people constantly, their flights being canceled. It's one thing for your flight to be canceled on your way someplace, right? Because you haven't gone yet.
Right.
It's totally another thing
Trying
to
to
be
get
canceled
home.
when you're trying to get home. Yeah, that's just a crazy.
The whole thing can be very, very crazy.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I think they'll be okay. They're going to get out of here.
Well, unless it's canceled for non-weather related, which is what they've been canceling.
Also possible.
Yes. So do I keep my fingers crossed that she gets to stay longer since the game was canceled?
We tried that already. We were like, you want me to cough on you? You can be sick and then not be able to get on the plane. You could just say, hey, I don't feel good. I don't think I can come back and work.
All right. So we have
completed the stitch out.
Yeah, look how cute.
Isn't that adorable?
It is
So
adorable.
it's very sharp. I think it's a very nice, I think I'll trim that top one up a little bit. It didn't pull in at all.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little more on the top than there is on the bottom. But that's just my fussy.
Yeah.
But
It's okay to be fussy.
So yeah, very, very nice. Got a little jump trims in there, but again, easy to do at any given time. So this is, again, not tear away. This is wash away. So we're going to need to remove this from the hoop and then trim the stabilizer. So I'm just going to, are you going to sew?
Oh, we
Or
can.
are we just going to talk about it?
This is easy enough that we can just talk about. I don't think
anybody's going to be confused once we actually say
Show them.
what's going on.
Yeah.
So I just need to get rid of the bulk here. God, this is so sticky. So I like to just kind of pull it up and let my project hang, and then I don't have a concern of cutting into the fabric because, you know, nobody wants to do that.
Mm-mm. Someone last time we were doing something asked about those applique scissors. This is one of those good times. If you have those applique scissors, if you use those, you won't cut through your project.
True statement.
That's probably the only time I ever use my applique scissors.
Yeah, those duck bills do
The
have
duck
that
bills, yeah.
piece that keep you from digging in where you don't wanna.
Right.
But I'm just getting rid of that bulk. And then again, this is wash away, so just getting it wet. And then we can get rid of the rest. In the meantime, I'm just gonna stick down all of those cut edges. And there we have the adorable stitch out.
Mhm.
So in the directions, they want you to mark everything up. Probably not going to do that.
No, but I did press the seam in
You
the
did press
middle,
the center seam.
the center seam, so it should
you
be there.
can fold that, matching up your tops, whether either side out doesn't super matter. But what she's talking about is that center seam here. You can see her press line.
Mhm.
So that's what we need to know where everything is going to be. And what we're going to do is use that as a guide. It's stiff.
It is.
It doesn't want to move.
Do you want to zoom out a little bit so
I
they can see a little
I
more?
can try to do that. Yep. Let's see.
I know we don't have much.
That's as far as I can go.
Oh, it's a little bit better.
So
There, they can see now.
I'm going to give you an edge because that makes a little bit more sense anyways. So we have again, folded it in half and pressed. So we have an actual, this is the center of the bag. And we are going to take our edges and fold them in to that center.
You want some itty bitty pins?
Nope, I sure don't. So once we have that, we are going to line up our ends here. So we're going to take both sides and fold it in so that your center line is here and your handles should then be in the middle there.
Mhm.
All right.
Make sure your handles are lined up. That's
Make
important.
sure your handles are lined up. That's where you're making sure that you're centered like you need to be. Then we're going to wonder clip or pin along these seams here on both sides of your tote.
Mhm.
This is just not fitting. All right, so both sides of the tote, there
There
we
you
go.
go.
We're going to pin along the edges. And that's as far as I read.
And then
I'm assuming
so,
you're just going to sew.
yeah, a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you go over the
handle
points.
port.
So the part right here, you want to make sure they recommend that you pick a triple stitch and then go back and forth over that part because that'll be the part where you're sort of opening the bag and putting
It's
it
going
in.
to have the most stress applied
And
to
then
it.
the same thing on the like the beginning and the end of each side piece. So over here
Yep.
and at the top.
So on your ends, turn it again so you can see a little bit better. Reinforce, and then these should meet up in the center.
Mhm.
And again, they're recommending a triple stitch so that you have a nice heavy seam in a 1/2 inch in so a seam allowance of a 1/2 inch, and do a triple stitch and reverse and go back over that center so that you have a nice enforced seam.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to worry about those stitches pulling when you add the weight of whatever and you're opening it and, oh, that was my elbow on that. Here it goes.
Yep.
So once you have that, you're just going to turn the bag right side out.
And that's it.
And it will then look like the opposite, of course. And you will have your embroidery on the one half. And you will have a solid side here. And then, of course, this is the opening, but these will be sewn shut.
Just like that.
So that's literally what it's going to look like. And you can place lots of things in there. I mean, it's dubbed like the pie,
Mm-hmm.
but 9x9s, you know, we all have lots of random.
I like how they're sliding that pie in there and there doesn't look like there's anything over the top of it. There
plastic cover
is, but it's
oh,
like
it doesn't
kind of
look like there's a
Right.
there's a cover over the pie.
yeah.
Yeah, that would not make a mess at all. It would be just fine.
Yeah, it'll
So,
just sit right in there.
but yeah, it's a nice little piece, super easy, very quick to finish, and just nicely done, very quick.
Very quick.
The embroidery was quick. You could swap that design out, and if you wanted it to be something different,
Yeah, just put
and,
initials or anything.
yep, you could personalize it.
Here's your pie bag.
Yeah, totally. You could you could write, here's your pie bag. Have a piece of pie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should
And
write.
pie on me.
Okay, ready? Should never say have pie on me. That would be you just asking for it.
Oh, but that concludes
That concludes fill in the blank.
Yeah, it's been a fun year
It-
of fill in the blank.
Yeah,
We're looking forward to the new digital dealer.
I'm very
exclusives.
excited about the projects. I think
Mhm.
they're adorable, and I'm looking forward to stitching those. We will let you guys know dates.
Yeah.
As soon as we get that scheduled.
And I'm just gonna throw up the link to the
Don't
digital
throw up, please.
dual the dealer digital exclusives, just so that you guys have it in case you want it.
If you've enjoyed this, you will enjoy that. It is along the same line. Every month does not include a blank, but a lot of them do. So it's not like everything. It is not centered around their blanks like this program has been, but there's quite a few that are blank entailed that you'll be using different things there. So I think it's really well done, and you should see those pop up here in the comment section any second. There they are. So if you haven't signed up and you would like to, there are 3 different ways to do that. Make sure you click on that drop down box on that page just to make sure that you are seeing all
Selecting.
of the options and selecting the one that you want. So if for some reason you hit the wrong thing, you know you can call us and we'll take care of you.
Yep.
But there are 3 different options and ways to participate in that program
Yes.
for next year.
And the main difference between last year and this year, kit wise, is that this year you got your blank. That was part of, you got the blank and the embroidery design. That was part of the money that you signed up for. And then we hit you up for more money each month because there were kit fees. So this time,
You can decide
all-
it's the design is what it is. And if you want the blank, the
Mhm.
whatever, all of that will come with the embellishment piece.
yes,
So if there's a blank, it'll come with that. If it's fabric, it'll come with that. If it's that, whatever.
right, you will
um,
have everything besides thread and stabilizer to complete the
that
project. Each month. So there will be 13
Yep.
kits
Bonus in
instead
July.
of 12.
Yep.
Yes. So that is that's the real big difference is that it won't be like we won't be like nickel diming you because we need
Nope.
extra pieces or parts for it. So the price is the price, and we've got it all figured out. And
Yep.
that the projects look really
I'm
fun.
like I said, I'm excited. I think they're very cute.
Yep.
I don't know that there's one that I just went, I really don't want to do that. They're all very cute.
They're all very cute. They will all make great things to give away, even if you don't know who it is. I have a giveaway drawer at home with stuff that's
For an
already.
oh crap, I need something
That's
drawer.
right. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's why some people in my family think that it's So,
It's magic.
yeah, because I have some baby quilts that are pre-done for the same purpose, because inevitably somebody will be like, I have a baby shower to go with. Could you make me a baby quilt? Yep, I have that right done. Yeah, it takes 5 minutes. Which one would you like?
So you're the reason that the rest of us suffer.
I could be the reason that the rest of you are suffering, yes. But I got tired of being annoyed and decided that I would just have a
Make
little
stuff and,
yeah,
and have
sometimes
it.
it's just easier.
I mean, I have a stash of stuff, but I
Yeah.
don't have complete quilts. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So,
Baby quilts are easy to make.
oh yeah,
And they're kind of like, if you're a quilter, they're sort of like instant gratification. Because
I'm done so
if
fast.
you've done a quilt that like fits on your bed and you're like, oh my God, this took forever. This is like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah. And they're fun to free motion quilt yourself. You don't feel like you're drowning
Right.
in, oh my gosh, where am I at? Or yeah,
Yeah.
I like baby quilts. They're
quilt them in your bed
good.
with the
You
new
could
Kimberbell
totally do that.
tiles.
The Kimberbell tiles are great.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we hope you have enjoyed this year with us. We have enjoyed doing it for you. But that's what we've got. So have a great one. Happy New Year. Enjoy. Stay safe.
We'll see
Stay
you all
warm. Hopefully
next
you're not
year.
buried in too much snow. And we will see you all in January. Bye, guys.
Bye.